Hello students, let us continue with the session of Bootstrap. So now let me go to the website getbootstrap.com. So yeah, we finished till button group, right? So now we are gonna see card. Now let us go to cards. Now what is card? Now card is nothing but a flexible and extensible content container. It includes option for headers, footers, a wide variety of content, contextual background colors, powerful display option, right? So basically Bootstrap allows you to have a card of your own. In the card you'll be having an image, there you'll be having a header, a footer, right? So now let us go to vscode.com, VS Code, and just check the output of this card, and let us do some examples on cards. Right, I am in the VS Code right now. So this was our Bootstrap. Let me go to bootstrap.html. This was our Bootstrap which we did in the last class. So let me remove all of these things first. So let us study about cards right now. So let me remove all of these things. Yes, let the h1 be there. So now let us go to cards. Now you have understood what is card. Card is nothing but a place or a container where you can store an image. You will be having a header, you will be having a footer, and variety of content can be posted there. So now Bootstrap will give you different types of cards. Now this is an example of a card, right? So you can see a card here. You can see this as an image which you can put your own image here, image cap. Then you have card title, header, then you have the contents, then you have a button there. So how to use this? You can directly you can find the code here for that. You can directly copy it and you can go back, right? So I've already told you this is the link of the Bootstrap CDN of the CSS. Then if you come down, you can find the CDNs of popper.js, bootstrap.js, and jquery.js. So all these things you will have to include first, then only you can perform your functions. Now I'll paste it. You can see source. Now when I go back, control save, when I see the output of this, just open with live server. Now you can see the output, right? But there's no image here. Why? Because we have not given the source of the image. If I want to put techvidlabs.com here, techvidlabs JPEG, control save, go back, you can see techvidlabs photo is here, techvidlabs image is here. Under that there's a card title. This is the example. If you want to put anything, you can directly put, for example, I'm gonna do it as techvidlabs here, techvidlabs. Go back, you can see you can directly edit it. If you wanted to make it little smaller, you can do that as well. I'll show you how. So when you come down here, you can see first of all we have to learn about content types. What are the contents which we can put? You can put a paragraph, you can put h1, you can put h2. All these things you can directly put it here like this, right? So I'll explain you what is this. This is a class card which is already there in the Bootstrap. Under the class card you have one more, that is title. For the separate title only you have a separate class. Then you have card text as well, to put some text. For the paragraph I have used this so that this particular content is available here, right? So this is how you can use different classes and put. There is a primary button here as well. So let me go back and see the primary button. If I want the button to be warning, I'll just come here and I'll change it to warning like this, right? So control save, go back, you can see it is warning right now. It doesn't go anywhere. Why? Because it stays on the same page. So the hash is given here, so that is why it stays on the same page, right? So this is about the card. And yes, you have different variations of card as well. You can see title, text, and links. Card title. If you don't want an image, you can just copy this. There is no image here, so let us copy this first, and after this I'm gonna paste it here. So go back up. Now come down, you can see an output here, right? So there is no image here. If this is a container or this is a card without an image, you can give your card title such as techvidlabs. You can put it as techvidlabs. Then in the subtitle you can put highest rated ed tech company, right? So when you go and put it, you can see techvidlabs is the card title, then you have highest rated edtech company, that is techvidlabs subtitle, right? So you can put any text here. Then you have a links has been given here. You can see a card link, another link. Already they have given it as card link, correct? So you can add a button here as well. You can directly add, just like that you can include a class. If I just remove this, if I copy this, instead of card link I'll paste it here. So now this will become a button, right? So you can directly use this as well. Now again we are going to see some other variations. Yes, we just copied it, right? Style 8 width, you can see if you want you can give it 20 rem, copy it, go back, see the output, you can see it is little bigger. Now card is little bigger. If you want to make it smaller, you can directly add 10 here, control save. You can see the card is smaller, correct? It is responsive. You can see the whole text got stringed into that particular container like this, correct? So width is given. If you want to change the height as well, you can directly give the height here. Height, maybe I'm gonna give it as 10 rem. So semicolon, control save, go back to the output. You can see the card has been stringed here, but the text has not been stringed, right? So this is only for this outline, this card. So just remove this and make it normal, control save. Now you can see the proper width, right? So you can use that also. Now the next version which we have in the cards is the images, right? So image dot card image top places an image to the top of the card. We already learned this, right? So this particularly, this is the class card, this image top. So this image top will place the image on top of the card, right? So if you want you can just delete this. Let us check that as well. So you can see image top is here, correct? So control save. If you see this output, if we have already seen this output, correct? So image is here, right? So this is about image top. These are all the predefined classes, so you cannot change anything unless the class exists, then only it will work, or else it will not work, right? So now next is the list groups. Create a list of content in a card. Now we can actually create a list inside a card. How to do that? Just like this. This is a list, right, inside a card. To create a list, you'll just have to use the HTML element, that is list. So you can see the card style is already given. All these are predefined, so it is available in Bootstrap. So you just have to copy that class. So just copy this and paste it after this, control save, go back and see the output. Now you can see a list has been created, correct? So this is how you can create a list inside a card class, right? So next we have same list groups, but here you can put your card header as well. So how to put a card header here? You can see a card header, right? So to put that card header, you can just add this division, that is div class is equal to card header, then put your text, paste it. After this, put your header there, control save, go back, and you can see this is a header. This has a different styling element rather than other three things. These three things are same, but if you compare with this is little styling, the background color is little different. Why? Because we have used this card header here, right? So you can use that for your program as well. So the next thing which we have in the card is kitchen sink. Now mix and match multiple content types to create the card you need, or throw everything there. You can mix and match the content types if you want. You can put the paragraphs, you can put the blocks, you can put the headers, you can put the footers. Now all those things can be put like this. You can see directly if we have created an image top here, then we have the card title, then we have given the content. Later we have created a list here, right? So there's no card header list here, so we just have created header is already here, right? So here it is a list, then later we have created links here, right? So all the combination of these three is shown in this particular example, right? So this is how we can do that. You can just copy it, paste it, and see the output. Maybe just remove this, see the output of this, right? So you can see the output. Card title, image is not there. Why? Because I have not given the source. If I want to give the source, just put it here, equals techworldlabs.jpg, control save, go back. You can see the image out here, right? So you can do that as well. Then we have, see, all the text, everything is given. You can put whatever text you want. If you want to put it in your website, you can put it. Next we have header and footer. Now see, this is a button, right? So to put a header and footer, you can just copy this entire statement. See, there's a header here as featured, then you have the card title here as special title treatment, then you have the card content. Now this is a button of go somewhere. So when you click this, you can see there are different classes. First is the card, then is the card header, then comes the card body, then comes the card title, then comes the card text, right? So all these things are under card, so that is why you can use under this. Again, if you don't want to use card, you can create maybe you can, if you want to use the styling of this card header, you can particularly use this card header in another program. For example, if you don't want a card but you want the styling of that particular header, you can take that class and include in your other programs as well, right? So it is optional, you can do that. So the next card we have is cards headers can be styled by adding dot card header to H elements like this. You can also add it to header elements like this, right? So if HY I have used here, after that I have added class is equal to card title here, right? They have added it. Now here, if you want to put H4, H5, H6, H2, H3, you can put any header tags here and you can put this class and it behaves the same way, right? So you can use that as well. This is a lorem ipsum code. This is widely available. It is a random text generated by a computer. It is already there. So if you want, you can use that for your programs. Then you have a quote. Yeah, if you want to create something like this, let me create a quote like this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to put my own quote. So yeah, quote here I have. So instead of lorem ipsum, I'm going to add something. Let me add fighters want is the formula for his success, right? So if you want someone famous in, you can put your title. So who written it, you can write your name here as well. So control save it. So let me go back and check the output of this, right? You can see quote hello world, because H1 I have used there, so let it be there. Quote fighters want is the formula of success. So this actually became like a blog, or like this actually became like quotes.com or brainyquotes.com, right? So you can put that. To use that, they use this simple bootstrap things, right? So you can also do that. So the next thing which we are gonna deal with is the how to make it block level and how to make it centered, right? So we just saw card left side. So how to make it centered? To make it centered, we have already given. There's a class called text center. If you don't use this text center, it will be on your left side, but if you use this text center, it will be in your center. Now let me copy this. Let me remove this. Now paste it, save it, go back. Yes, now you can see it is in the center. Now whatever text I want, I can directly give it here and you can do your coding, right? So you can do that. So this was about text center. Next thing, how do we size the cards? Now see, there are two different cards available here. How do we do it exactly? Here we have to use row and columns, right? Here if you want to change the size of the cards, because we tried changing the height of the card, but it did not work out very well. But here if you want to change the size of the card, you will have to use this row and column. Column SM means small, that is 6 small, right? So this is what is SM. Then you have LG, then you have XXLG, right? Extra large, all those things are available. So if you just want, this is one card particularly, so let me copy this one particular card. Let me put it after this. Now if I go back and see the output, scroll down, you can see one particular card over here, correct? So if I want it to be in the right side, I'll go back, see what is the difference between the right side and the left side. Columns, SM6 is same, card body same, card title also same, card text also same, everything is same, correct? So but when you copy it and when you paste it here, this particular div tag will not take the entire block, it will just take the part of it. But when you use a paragraph, it will take an entire part, and that is the difference. If I go back, you can see two different cards are available, right? So you can create this for your website, right? So there are so many options available. It is just the same, you don't have to do anything, it is already there. Make some changes according to your website and you can do that. The next, Now see the difference, this is big and this is little small. Now why is that? Because they have given this width 75. If you give width 100, it will be whole screen. If you get width 75, it will be little bit here. If you give width 50, it will be little bit there, correct? So you can choose whatever width you want. Let me go and copy this for your example. I'm going to show you. Here I'm going to paste it. It is width 50 now. So let us see, width 50 is somewhere in the middle like this. If I want, I can put it to 75, right? So when I put 75, you can see it is little bit here, correct? So that is the difference. You can put your width, height. If you put 20, let us see what happens if you put 20, right? You can see there's no things at all here, correct? So that is why usually we put 50, 40, something like that. You can see here, correct? So you can use that for your cards. You can create that. Next thing which we have is use custom CSS. You can also use custom CSS, right? So if you want to make it little interesting, you can add a CSS styling folder for this dot card W50 or something. You can give a color of it. Now maybe what I can do now is you can just add dot card title and change the color of this, right? So that is also possible by adding internal style sheet or external style sheet, right? So that is also there. The next thing is the text alignment. Now how to align a text inside a card. Now how do we see? You can have 3 different alignments here. This is in the left alignment, this is in the middle alignment, and next thing comes here right alignment, right? So how do we do it exactly? Now you can see width 18 rem, they have already given it. So if you do this, it happens. Now style, again card, text center. If you put text center, it will be in the middle. If you put text right, it will be in the right side. Now here you need not to specify left. Why? Because it defaultly takes as left. If you want to specify explicitly, you will have to give this text center. Then if you want it to be right, text right, correct? So that is how you can do that. Next thing is your navigation bar plus a card. Now how do you do it? Add some navigation to a card's header or block with Bootstrap's nav component. So now you can see, let me tell you, there's something called nav tabs, card header, right? These are all the navigation bar which is already available in the Bootstrap. You'll just have to copy it. I'll remove all of these things. Right, so paste it, go back and see the output. Yes, you can see a navigation bar, right? And also a card here, right? You can change whatever text you want here. You can change all the contents, right? So it depends on your website what you want to do there. So you can do that. Next thing, if you want to put this links, all those things, you can directly put it there. Next you have image cap. Now how to make an image little larger. Now we just saw that small image cap was there. Now how to make it large? How to make it large? You can see card MB3. So this makes an image large. Copy this, remove this, paste it. Now there's no source, so let me give a source first. techvidlabs.jpg, control save, go back, check the output. Now see the image is bigger, right? So image is bigger and the card is also bigger. If you don't use this MB3, let me check what happens. Control save, nothing happens usually. But yeah, but if you want it to be a normal image, you can directly go up here, normal image, see the difference what exactly is there. You can see here, yeah, image cap is here, right? So here you have given width, directly you have specified a width. You can directly specify the width here, right? So that is how you can do that. Let me come down. Navigation bar is done, image caps is done. We understood how image caps is used. Then we have image overlays. Now suppose there is an image, and how do you have to overlay content on that? So let me show you that. So you can find a code for it, right? So if you want to put a text, just copy this first. Let me remove this, paste it. So here I'm going to give TechVid Labs first, TechVid Labs. Now on the TechVid Labs image, you can find this text will be written. Now let me go back. You can't see it because the picture itself is a white picture, right? White with blue. So let me add demo.jpg first. Yes. Now there's an image, and on the image you can see a card is written. correct? So this is how you can use that. Usually this we see in many websites, so you can use that as well in this, right? So next we have horizontal. Now using a combination of grid and utility classes, cards can be made horizontal also. We saw vertical cards right now, so if you want to make it to horizontal, there is already commands written here, right? So we'll just have to copy this commands, then paste this here. So whatever you want, you can just write it here and you can see the output. So let me see the output. Yes, now I have to give an image here, so let me make sure the images are available in the folder so that you need not to add the path of it. Right? Yes, you can see TechVid Labs logo is here, and you can see card title and the paragraph written here, right? So last updated 3 minutes ago is already available in the small case, muted text, right? So this is how you can use horizontal cards. The next thing you have is include various options for customizing their backgrounds, borders and colors, right? So we just saw plain colors which were already available in the card, but here you can use the properties of these different colors. If you want, you can add your own properties like this, right? See the different properties. You just have to change this BG primary, BG secondary, BG success, right? So let me copy it. I'll show you this. Now paste it, save it, go back. You can see different options are available here, right? So I've already told you how to arrange the sizes, how to make this. You can use the same class for this and you can do that, right? So already it's available, you just have to make some changes, that's it. Now you'll be having a question now that what if everybody uses this? What if everybody uses this and the same website is there? No, it's not possible, because whatever you use, you will have to make some changes on it, because if you don't make the changes, it will normally look like a Bootstrap theme directly. So if it is done according to your reference, right? So not every website will be same if you use Bootstrap. Next we have border. Utilities will come back in the later classes, but yeah, there are some examples of utilities. You can use this. Now we saw the colored ones, right? So but now you can see the borders, light borders here. You can see, you can use that as well. You can directly use the code here. Let me see the difference. It is just light here, correct? Light info border. This is border info. That was BG. You can see BG is different, border is different. Okay, if you use border, you'll get output something like this, but if you use BG, you will get output something like this. It will be entirely filled, right? So there is a difference between the BG and a border, right? So this is done. Next you have mixing utilities that you can directly put footer. Also you can change success, you can change all these things are already available. Success, utilities, all these things, right? So you can use that. Yes. Now how to put 3 cards on a website? Just directly add 3 different things. That's it. All this is the same code for all the 3 things. You will have to add your images, that's it. So let me do one thing. Let me just remove this and I'll add images now. Let me add TechVid Labs here. Let me add again TechVid Labs here, right? So let me add TechVid Labs once again at the top. Now added TechVid Labs, TechVid Labs, TechVid Labs. Now go back to output. You can see 3 different cards are available, correct? All the 3 cards have the same image. Card title is here, card text is here, asked updated 3 minutes ago. You can see 3 different cards, right? So you can use that as well in your programs. Now next comes, now I'll tell you one important thing. What is this text muted? Text muted is a class which is already declared, and what is the output of it? Something like this, right? So you can see this is not dark, it is something light in color, right? So this is something like disabled in color. To use that, you can use text muted. This text muted, if you use that, it will be displayed like that, right? So this is about 3 cards. Next, card decks. Now if you want to provide space here like this, you can use this particular statement here. You just have to make changes based on your needs, and once you do that, your card is ready on the website, right? So same thing is already here. You can just use that. Now see, this is something called deck. If you want the card to be displayed like this, you can use this class called card-deck, right? So you can use that. Now next thing which we have is the grid cards. Now grid cards is something like this. We saw 3 horizontal cards, 3 vertical cards, right? So but here it is like a grid, it is like a mosaic. Just copy this entire code. You can see row has been used here, row columns, row columns, MD2, correct? MD means medium, right? So you if you want, you can just copy this, paste it, see the output, you will understand the difference. Now see, now there's no image, so let me do one thing. Let me add an image here, that is techvidlabs.jpg. Again I'm gonna add techvidlabs.jpg. 2 images I've added. You can see 2 images are here. Under that again there are 2 cards. If you want to add an image, you can absolutely add it, right? So you can add so many. If you want to add 6 mosaics, just copy the code, paste it once again, it will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So next you have all these things are already there. Like this, if you want to do, it's already available. You just have to take this code, copy it, paste it, change whatever you want to change, right? So this is about cards. So it's already there. Yes, cards is done now. Now the next important thing, which is very interesting, now it is called as carousel. Carousel is nothing but a slideshow on your website. Now if you want to put a slideshow of images or videos on your website, you can use this thing called carousel. Now carousel is a slideshow component for cycling through elements, images or slides of text like a carousel, like a repeated images. Now how do we do it? It's already there. You can see first slide, correct? Now how do we exactly do it? Just copy this entire code. This is called data write carousel. You have ID of this carousel, example slides only, carousel slides. If you just want to do it, just copy this. You should have images first. If you don't have images, download an image on your system, then you will have to perform this. I have an image, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it as demo.jpg here. Then again second image I'm gonna put it as demo1.jpg. Control save. Make sure the image's size is same, because if the size is not same, this will look something like this, right? So if images is not in the same size, you will get something like this. So that's what I'm gonna use techvidlabs here. Again I'm gonna use techvidlabs here. So let me check. Control save. Now you can see the image is too big. I want it to be a proper size, then only your output will come. Just like this. See, with controls, there's controls also options available. When you click on it, or when you go to your website, there's something images like this, right? So when you click on it, it will go to the next slide. So let me see an example. I'll show you an example which I've already done. So this is an example which I have taken this image called 2.jpg. Now I'll show you what is 2.jpg. So if I go back here, let me go back to the codes. Now let me just view the extra large. So this is the image which I'm going to use, that is 2.jpg. So we have to check .jpg is there or not. So this is .jpg. So I'm going to use this. So now if I go and see the output, you can see an output is something like this. Now there are arrow buttons here, right? So when you click on this, you can see it slides to the next one, right? So it is full screen and it slides to the next image. Now why is the same image coming? Why? Because I've given the same image here. When I give a different image like 1.jpg, next pick, it goes little down. Why? Because the image resolution is little big. This image resolution is little big than this one, correct? So if you want to make it absolutely clear, then you will have to use the same resolution pictures. Now see, I'm going to use techvidlabs here and see the difference. You can see techvidlabs is here, control save. Now this is the first image. When I do this, this radial comes down because this image is huge. Next, if I do this, you can see this is much more huge, correct? So you make sure you have the same type of image, like same resolution of image, then only your proper slideshow will be happening, or else it will be difficult for the computer to understand that. Why? Because each resolution matters here, right? So this was about the slideshow. Now there are different versions of slideshow also here. Now see, this is manual, so you will have to click it for it to work, but we have automatic as well. Now this is automatic. You can see indicators, right? You can use this also. You have this also and you have this also. For that you will just have to copy this. Entire thing is already here. So let me remove this first. Now I'm going to use the same image to make sure that it is properly there. So 2.jpg here, then you have again JPEG here, then you have 2.jpg. Now how does this slider came? How did this particular slider came? Very simple. You can see the slide here, right? Carousel slide, we have added a class called carousel slide, and data rise is carousel, correct? So all these things are already available. You can see cast carousel, previous icon, all this SR only, carousel indicators, right? These are all previously done commands, so you don't have to worry about it. Yes, you can see this. When you come down, you can see this as well. So when I do this, it happens. When I come back, it performs like this, right? So slideshow can be used like this as well, right? So the next thing which we are going to learn, the different version, is caption. How to give a caption for a particular image. Now, to give a caption for a particular image, what you can use, you can create an ordered list like this, OL, then you can add H1, H5 here, P tag here, right? Let us copy this first. Now let me just remove this so that we'll add a caption. Now here, yes, let me add an image first. So let me add 2.jpg, again 2.jpg, then again I'm gonna add 2.jpg. If you want more slideshows, just copy this code and paste it next time, paste it later. You will find one more slider there, right? So I want to put a text, it is already there, so let us use the same text. Go back and see the output. Yes, you can see first slide label, you can add stylings for this. Next, go to the second slide, you can see second slide label, you can see the paragraph. Then if you want to go to the third slide, you can directly go to the third slide, correct? So you can use that as well. So next what do we have? Next we have crossfade. Now what is a crossfade? You can see this was a fade, different style fade. It goes like this, like a page, right? But here it is a crossfade. That means it fades first slide, second slide. If you want to do that, you'll just have to take this fade, instead of you have slide, you can just add fade like this. So let us see if we get an output or not. It's not working. Why? Because I told you already, if you are going to change the class, this is a very hectic task. So that is why whatever contents you have here, because some contents will already have this active and all those things, right? So that is why you will have to use the same thing, and text changes and all those things you can directly do it. But when you're changing the class, you must be very careful, because a small error does not give your output, right? So again, we are going to put 2.jpg. Again, I'm going to put it as 2.jpg once again 2.jpg. Control C. Go back, check the output. Now when I do this, this is not giving an output. Why? Because all the three images are same. So that is why you cannot see the proper effect. So to see the proper effect, you can just add one more, that is TechVid Labs. I'm going to put TechVid Labs. Now if I go back, you can see the fade, correct? So that is the difference. One more is if you add, if it is here, again I'm going to put fade, it fades, correct? So you can, if you use three images, same three images, you won't get this fade effect, right? So the next thing which we have is the sliders. Again, we have sliders here. You can see this slider. So you can use slides, you can use fade, correct? So you can have different options like this. If you want an interval to be given, you can put interval, as you can give interval any number if you want, you can give. If you want use the keyboard events, you can add this keyboard events as well in the data interval. For example, see, for data attributes, append the option name to data as in data interval equals, you have to put the keyboard, right? You have to put this keyboard and you have to put the true there, correct? So you can do that as well in while you use carousel, right? So the next thing which we have is the collapse. Now collapse is nothing but toggle the visibility of content across your project with a few classes and our JavaScript plugins. Now collapse, I'm going to show you what exactly is a collapse. Collapse is nothing but there's a button over here. When you click on it, whole text will be slided down, correct? So this is what is called collapse. When you click on it, you can see when you click on it, it comes down. Again, when you click on it, it goes back up, correct? So slide up and slide down, that is slide toggle in JavaScript. So use that slide toggle in JavaScript. We are gonna, that is called as collapse here. Now you can put all the text and already it's available here. So let me do one thing, see the output of this, right? So refresh. Okay, let me save this first. I'm not saved it. Yeah, now you can see when I click on it, it collapses. Again, when I click back, it goes up. So slide toggle, it works as a slide toggle. So that is what is called as collapse. Now next thing we have is the multiple targets. Now what is multiple targets? You can see different targets. Now for the first, toggle first element, toggle second element, toggle both the elements, right? So this is interesting. So if you want to do this, just copy it. So remove all of these things before that. Yeah, so paste it, go back, see the output. When I toggle it, first will be released. When I toggle for the second element will be released. When I toggle both goes back up. Correct? It does the opposite. For example, it is like this now. If I put this, first will be down, second will be up. Correct? So that is what this particular collapse do here. You can use it in your websites. Text, you can change it directly there, right? So then we have like this collapsible group. You can create a list also. You can do this. When you click on it, it collapses like this. When you click on it back, it goes up. Correct? So if you want to see the output of this, just copy this entire thing, right? So let me go back to the program. Yes, so let me remove this first. So I have removed it here. Control save, go back and see the output of this. Yes, and I can click on it back, it goes back up. When I click on the second item, will be slided down. When I click on the second item will be closed, and the third item will be slided down. Correct? So this is how you can use collapse. But in collapse also we have different variations. You can see the different variations: accessibility, usage, via JavaScript, how to enable via JavaScript directly. You can put this $symbol collapse dot collapse, and manually you can manually do that using JavaScript here, right? So there are different options which you can use. But right now, since we are using Bootstrap, so let us study about Bootstrap, right? So again, you have different events for the collapse as well, right? So next thing we are going to learn about is the drop downs. Now drop downs is nothing but whatever text you have given, when you click on it, when you will click on it, or when you will not click on it, when you hover over it, it should drop some contents down. So that is called as drop downs. Now let me go here. When I click on it, you can see these three things appear, right? So when I click on it back, it goes back to the same position. When I click on it, these three things come back. So let us do how it is. So this is used in your header, like in your navigation bars. So let me tell you how. Okay, see the output now. Refresh. Let me save this first. Yes, you have the drop down button here. So when I click on it, you can see drop down button. It says action, another action, something else here, correct? When you click on it, we have not given any links. We have just given hash here. So that is why it is staying on the same page, right? So now how to coloring, or how to do the sizes and all those things. You can see the coloring. So you have primary, secondary, success, info, warning, danger, correct? So you have this different things. You can also use anchor tags here. So if you want to just use this, let me copy this first. Just copy this. Let me remove this. Save it. Go back. Check the output. Now see, action is there. When I click on it, it says this. Correct? I want primary. How to add primary? Very simple. Go here. Button, instead of danger, add primary. Control save. Go back. See the output. You can see the primary button here. Correct? So you can use any of these buttons which is already available for your drop downs. Now the next thing is the split button. Now what is the split button? You can see different things. When I click on it, this particularly splits the entire tag which you have there into halves. For example, this is the text part and this is the drop down part, correct? This is the text part and this is the drop down part. For that you can use this, that is the class is button group. This is button, right? If you use group here, so let us check group. Control save, go back. No, you will have to copy that particular statement from there itself, and you will have to do that. So let me just remove this. Control save. Now when you go back, you can see this is a separate, it has been splitted here. You can see this is a separate one and this is a separate one, correct? So when you click on this, you will get the drop down, but when you click on this, there is no drop down, okay? So you'll have to understand that. Next, how to do sizings. Sizings we have already learnt in buttons, right? So here you will have to use this button large, button small. See, this is button large, correct? So next thing is also button large. Next thing is you have button small, that is SM, correct? This is button small. Again you have button small, correct? So again you can give any the button which you want to use by just you adding this particular thing called button small, btn hyphen small, right? So the next thing is drop up. So we learned about drop down, that is it drops down, but when you are using drop up, this particular thing, again drop up will be given here. You can see the difference. Drop right side, you can see it is right side, correct? So there are different options in that. Drop down, this you can see drop up, correct? So this is the difference between a drop up, drop down, drop right, correct? So you have one more thing, I guess you have drop left as well. You can see drop left is also there, correct? So based on your requirements, based on your website, you can use all of these things and you can do that, correct? So this is about drop left. Next thing is you have the menu items. What is the menu? In using this drop down, you can create your menu items in your navigation bars, right? So you can see drop down text item. I can actually add all these things in your statement. For example, see have something here, action, right? So you see here I'm gonna give different. I'm gonna give my name here, like my name here, right? I'm gonna give it as TechVid Labs. Let me add TechVid Labs. Again, if you go back and see the output, when I click on it, you can see my name, TechVid Labs, correct? So all these things can be easily done when you are using drop downs, drop ups, drop right, drop left, correct? So this is active. How to put an active links, correct? To put an active links, you can directly use this. You can put direct active. Now let me add active for some of the thing. Maybe I'll add active for TechVid Labs. Simple, you just have to add active. Go back, see the output, click on it, you can see active. It is already colored here, right? So you can use active here also. Next, if you want to put disabled button, just add disabled like this. Let me add disabled for something else here. So disabled, right? So put disabled, copy, see the output. You can see this is a disabled button. So there's no, actually there's no link here. You can see this is a active, this is a normal one, this is the active, and this is the disabled one, right? So you can directly use this by doing small changes like this. You can see the small changes. This is divider. Divider is nothing but there's a division here, right? So if you want to put a division, you can use this drop down divider. So it puts a division there, right? So yeah, here in Bootstrap. Now next thing is your menu alignment, how to align it particularly. You can see how to align it. You can see all this right aligned menu, left aligned menu. Now you have responsive, correct? Left aligned but right aligned when large screen. For example, this particular thing, what happens is when you it is left aligned, but when you resize it, this will become right aligned, correct? So you can use that as well. So let me copy it and show you. I'll remove this, save it. Now I can see the output here, right? So let me do one thing. I'm gonna minimize it. After minimizing, when I click on it, this is left aligned, but when I again make it down, right? See, there's no much difference, but go back and read the statement once again. If you want to use responsive alignment, disable dynamic positional by adding data display static. Now data display static, wait, where is it? Data display static is here, correct? So you can use that as well. Next, to align left drop down menu and given a breakpoint or larger, you'll have to read all these things while doing your program, right? You don't just copy paste it directly. Read all the things which are available there, then understand each and everything and do that based on your requirements, right? So this is right aligned but left aligned when large screen. Next time coming here, so let me this is complete screen, right? So you can see the next thing which we have is the menu headers. How to put an header? Header is very easy. You'll just have to add this particular header, that is drop down header, correct? So when you add this become a drop down header, and you can see drop down header like this, correct? So it is not selectable. So that you can use dividers, we have already learned. Put a divider, you can have just add this drop down divider and divider will be added. Then if you want to put in a drop down text, if you want to put a text, you can directly add it in a paragraph like this. Like this, you want you can directly add in a paragraph. The next thing which we have is the forms. So I think forms we are going to study in the next section, but right now we don't study about forms. So let me go back. Yes, again, drop down options, you have different options like this. You can, I showed you, this is the split one and this is the normal one, correct? Split one, usually it is used more, and usually the drop down, this normal one will be used, but if you want to make it interesting, you can use this as well, right? So usage via data attribute, JavaScript, you can include all these things using your JavaScript plugins, jQuery and all those things, right? So yeah, this was about your drop downs.